Harry's Wife, Part 102.71. A Family Affair. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. As you know, narcissists can pop up absolutely everywhere. The most common encounter, and for some the most devastating, of course, is the romantic dynamic. However, we appear in social settings, neighbour settings, work settings, customer relationship settings, and, of course, commonly, a familial environment. Whether you are now the adult child of a narcissist bearing the scars of your upbringing from that particular parental narcissist, or possibly even two parental narcissists, whether a sibling is a narcissist, whether you suspect perhaps that your child has become one, familial narcissists obviously exist and cause considerable damage to those around them. But there's also the instance, of course, where there are existing familial narcissists, but along comes another one that marries into the family. Regularly, I advise people who are concerned about the status of a member of their family who has become ensnared by a narcissist. Usually, I'm speaking with the parents whose son or daughter is in a relationship, commonly married, and often has children, with the suspected or confirmed narcissist. They want to know how to handle the situation, and through my excellent offices, I provide them with that unrivaled insight into what they're dealing with, and, most importantly, how they can deal with the situation to avoid making it worse, and how to improve their prospects of aiding and supporting their child. It is important to understand the dynamic that exists between a narcissist and other familial members, and here, in an article by thelist.com, it tells us how Harry's wife gets along with each member of the royal family. We're going to analyse this material to see, does it get certain things correct? Does it notice the aspects of her narcissism, or does it brush over them and provide me with an opportunity to explain further to you the familial dynamic? The article is by Meg Walters and starts by stating, Harry's wife has undergone a stunning transformation. When she made the long walk down the aisle of Westminster Abbey, she joined one of Britain's oldest and most famous families. The firm, as the royal family is sometimes called, has been the subject of the public's fascination for centuries. These days, it's harder than ever to be a member of this famous family for a variety of reasons. As Harry's wife revealed in a now infamous interview, she didn't understand the way the British paparazzi and press would hound her all day, every day. Not only are the pressures from the press a huge change for Harry's wife, she's also had to adjust to her new family members. While Harry's wife is a modern, forward-thinking actress from Hollywood, she's clearly provided the pen portrait for this article with those words, her in-laws have always lived lives steeped in tradition and royal etiquette. And while some of the members of the royal family have welcomed Harry's wife into the fold with open arms, others have been less hospitable. Here's the truth about Harry's wife's relationships with each member of the royal family. Harry's wife is still head over heels in love with her husband, Prince Harry. No, that's a wrong one there already. That individual has got it incorrect by stating that that particular person is in love with Prince Harry. We know that she can't be, because as a narcissist, she has no emotional empathy for him. The article states, first things first, what's Harry's wife's relationship like with her husband, Prince Harry? It goes without saying that this relationship is Harry's wife's closest. Well, correct in the sense that he's the intimate partner primary source. While some reports suggested that Harry has begun to resent Harry's wife since their famous move to the States, it appears that the couple is still going strong. Apparently, Harry has been smitten with his wife since the very beginning. In fact, he once said, "When did I know she was the one? The very first time we met." Presence of emotional thinking. And as for Harry's wife, it seems that she fell in love with Harry early on. In 2017, she told Vanity Fair, "We're in love." Then in 2019, the couple welcomed their son, baby Archie, into the world, and Harry's wife and Harry couldn't be happier. At the time, Harry's wife said, "It's magic. It's pretty amazing. I have the two best guys in the world, so I'm really happy." How adorable, the article states. Then in 2021, Harry's wife gave birth to daughter Lilibet. These days, Harry's wife and Harry seems to be living a happy, peaceful life with their kids in California. Well, this is someone who doesn't understand anything about narcissism who writes that. 1, Harry's wife doesn't love Harry. She thinks that she does, but as a narcissist she can't because she has no emotional empathy, and understanding the nature of the narcissistic dynamic, their existence in California is not peaceful at all. Harry is in the sustained devaluation. Next comes Big Willie Styley. Harry's wife has had a complicated relationship with brother-in-law Prince William. Prince Harry and Prince William used to be thick as thieves. Of course, we know they're no longer because along came a spider. However, since Harry's wife entered the picture, rumours have spread that the brothers' relationship has soured. But what about Harry's wife's relationship with her brother-in-law? In the 2020 book, Finding Freedom, by improbably named Omen Scobie and the lady who no longer wants to be associated with that crock of shite, we get a glimpse into what their relationship has been like. According to the book, written by Harry's wife in her Harry's wife's diaries, Harry's wife had been nervous to meet William in 2016. As Scobie and the lady who no longer wants to be associated with this publication wrote, she was self-aware enough to understand that the brothers were wary of women who were more interested in their titles than their well-being. However, when they met, William was apparently warm and welcoming, and he and Harry's wife got along so well. I've no doubt that William was initially warm and welcoming towards her. However, the fact that she states that they got along so well is undoubtedly as a consequence of her delusion. What her narcissism would really be thinking is that he fancies her, because in Harry's wife's world, every man she meets automatically wants to have the hanky-panky with her, because she thinks she's utterly irresistible. Irrespective of whether that person is married, is in a relationship with someone else, her narcissism tells her that any man would want to be with her. After Harry's wife and Harry married, the article continued, her relationship with William remained pretty distant. Harry reportedly felt that his brother wasn't supporting him and his wife. In one royal appearance in 2020, William all but ignored Harry's wife and Harry, which pretty much sums it up. Of course, this article was written prior to recent events surrounding the funeral. It's worthwhile pointing that out. Next, things between Harry's wife and sister-in-law Kate Middleton are reportedly very up and down. It's safe to say that the press is totally obsessed with publishing gossip about the so-called feud between Harry's wife and Kate Middleton. It's not so-called, it exists. The Princess of Wales doesn't want anything to do with Harry's wife because she has been expertly advised as to what she ought to do. But what actually went on between the two famous sisters-in-law, writes the article? Well, according to royal experts, it's true that the relationship is very complicated. Harry's wife claimed that Kate made her cry on one occasion. Lie, revision of history. But it might not have been quite as bad as some thought. In the book Finding Freedom, by improbably named and disappeared off the planet, the authors revealed that the pair have a cordial but distant rapport. Not the case. So while Kate and Harry's wife aren't exactly friends, they also aren't enemies. Apparently, when the two duchesses first met, they were polite, but never really moved past that stage. They were often seen at events exchanging only a few words with each other. According to improbably named and disappeared, their strange relationship is probably due to Prince Harry's conflict with the royal family, and also because Catherine is not going to accept the way that she has been treated, her daughter has been treated, and, of course, latterly, as a consequence of the advice that she has received. Next, Harry's wife actually has a close bond with her father-in-law, Prince Charles. When it comes to Prince Harry's father, it seems as though Harry's wife actually has a pretty close relationship with him. Again, the delusion of the narcissist at work here. The relationship, of course, is so close that she ensures that she takes his son away across the ocean, has very little to do with them, and then continues to smear him from abroad. According to a source who spoke to the Daily Mail, Prince Charles helped Harry's wife find her way in the royal family's traditions, assertion of control in a benign fashion. The Duchess has shown a genuine interest in learning more about the history of the family she is married into. No No, she hasn't, and her father-in-law has been delighted to impart his knowledge, the insider said. All she's doing there was mirroring at the outset when it was the golden period. If she had such a genuine interest in learning more about the history of family and culture, claiming, of course, that she understands so many cultures but didn't bother with the British one, why then did she fuck off? Apparently, Charles and Harry's wife connected over these informal history lessons and soon found that they share plenty of interests, such as art, culture and history. No mirroring. Eventually, the pair reportedly developed a close bond. No. It's so nice to hear that Harry's wife and Charles formed their own special relationship, especially considering the fact that Harry's wife's relationship with her own father has soured since her marriage to Harry. We all know why that is. Harry's wife and her stepmother-in-law, Camilla Parker Bowles, have a great relationship. Yes, of course they do. After all, Camilla described her as an adventuress, so they've clearly got a brilliant relationship. Harry's wife developed a close relationship with her husband's father, and it looks like she's been equally successful with his stepmother, Camilla Parker Bowles. Incorrect. Delusion again. As Express pointed out, Camilla and Harry's wife have a lot in common. Camilla is also a divorcee who married into the royal family. By the sound of things, she's been keen to support Harry's wife. Well, again, initially she sought to make her feel welcome, but as been reported, it was the case that Harry's wife, because she thinks she always knows best, didn't listen to what Camilla had to say. Nullification of threat to control as a consequence of constructive observations provided by Camilla. After Harry's wife's wedding, Camilla revealed that she'd been worried about how the day would go. We all wondered whatever would happen next, and then everything went right, she said. According to a friend of Camilla who spoke to the Daily Mail, much like Harry's wife, Camilla had experienced a lot of negative press and hostility from courtiers due to her relationship with Charles when he was still married to Diana. Additionally, she was very sensitive to Harry's wife and provided her with support, advising her to ride out the storm and that it would pass. It appears that Camilla took Harry's wife under her wing. No, she just provided advice to her and tried to help her through the negative press. It's nice to hear that someone was on her side from the beginning. Harry's wife had a positive relationship with her grandmother-in-law, the Queen. When it comes to Prince Harry's grandmother, Harry's wife actually had a pretty strong positive relationship with Queen Elizabeth II. As Robert Lacey, author of Battle of Brothers, told, she knows the Queen was eager to welcome Harry's wife into the family. Again, so much for these allegations of being made unwelcome and that they were all racists. There's a political sense in which the Queen welcomed her as a first mixed-race recruit to the royal family, he said. It sounds as though the Queen saw Harry's wife's arrival as an opportunity to modernise and popularise the royal family. Sadly, Harry and Harry's wife decided to step back from the royal family. As Lacey said, it must be distressing for the Queen that 30 months later this recruit and her son Archie are no longer classed as royal. Of course, the Queen had the measure of Harry's wife very soon and, of course, implemented a course of action to ensure that the crown was protected whilst distancing herself from Harry's wife. Next up, Harry's wife and her grandfather-in-law, Prince Philip, initially had a close relationship. In the case of Prince Philip, Queen Elizabeth's husband and Prince Harry's grandfather, it seems as though Harry's wife's once close relationship with him soured. In the biography Prince Philip revealed by Ingrid Seward, a pretty shocking detail about Philip's relationship with her granddaughter-in-law was revealed. Apparently, Philip was initially close with Harry's wife. He even made the effort to attend her wedding shortly after a hip operation. However, after Harry and Harry's wife's departure from the royal family, his opinion of Harry's wife reportedly changed. As Seward wrote in her biography, for Philip, whose entire existence had been based on a devotion to doing his duty, it appeared that his grandson had abdicated, for the sake of his marriage, to an American divorcee, in much the same way as Edward VIII gave up his crown to Mary Wallace Simpson in 1936. As fans of the royals will know, Philip comparing Harry's wife to Simpson was clear evidence that he thought of her in a pretty negative light. And indeed, of course, he talked about one does not marry actresses, one steps out with them. Things apparently got a little awkward between Harry's wife and cousin-in-law, Princess Eugenie. Princess Eugenie, who's undergone a stunning transformation, relevance of that, is the daughter of Prince Andrew and Sarah Fergie Ferguson, and the cousin of Prince Harry. While not a great deal is known about Harry's wife's relationship with her cousin-in-law, one awkward etiquette misstep from Harry's wife suggests that their relationship is likely pretty strained. As Express reported, Eugenie initially welcomed Harry's wife into the family, as she is said to be very close with Harry. She even told friends she loved Harry's wife and thought she was perfect for Harry. However, Harry's wife may have breached protocol when she chose Eugenie's wedding day to announce her pregnancy, overshadowing Seapart's passing. In Finding Freedom, by Improbably Named and Disappeared, the announce did not go down particularly well with her cousin-in-law. In fact, she was so upset she reportedly vanished at her own wedding to go yell at Harry's wife and Harry. Oops. Fortunately, Eugenie and Harry's wife appear to have mended things since that poorly timed pregnancy announcement. They've reportedly been friendly and have even bonded over their pregnancies, according to US Weekly. Harry's wife might be a bit jealous, I think you mean envious, of cousin-in-law Princess Beatrice. Princess Beatrice, Princess Eugenie's sister, seems to have forged a pretty positive relationship with Harry's wife. Nevertheless, according to The Sun, there may be a little bit of jealousy on the part of Harry's wife. In 2020, Harry's wife released legal papers which named Beatrice as an example of a royal family member who's allowed to undertake paid work. In the document, Harry's wife laid out what she saw as an unfair system that denied her the same opportunity, playing the victim, nullifying threat to control, triangulation. When Harry and Harry's wife left the family and their royal duties behind, their relationship with Beatrice seems to have gotten worse. As one friend of Beatrice said to Page 6, it's fair to say the relationship is not what it was. It sounds like their departure was seen by Beatrice as a step too far. Harry's wife absolutely adores her nephews and niece. Even though Harry's wife reportedly has a tense relationship with Prince Harry's brother and sister-in-law, it seems that her relationship with their children is a lot more positive. Delusion. We've noticed, of course, the bullying of Princess Charlotte, the fact that at the recent funeral, Prince George even seems aware to be careful when Auntie Harry's wife comes nearby. In 2017, the article continues, the Mirror reported that Harry's wife had met Harry's nephew and niece for the first time. Kate Middleton's youngest, Prince Louis, wasn't yet born. Apparently, Harry's wife was totally taken by Prince George and Princess Charlotte. Golden period, flattery, assertion of control by benign means. She even offered to babysit. I'm sure that would now cause the Prince and Princess of Wales to shudder. According to Entertainment Tonight, Harry's wife continued to dote on the kids after marrying Harry. A source claimed that the Duchess often visited Kate and her children, bringing them home-cooked treats, probably cooked by somebody else. According to other reports, Harry's wife and Harry actually loved giving the three kids thoughtful gifts, bribery, such as an electric SUV and a tricycle. How cute. George and Charlotte were even included in Harry's wife's wedding party. By the look of things, she's an amazing, loving aunt to her two nephews and her niece. Utterly deluded observations there. Harry's wife has an uncomfortable relationship with uncle-in-law Prince Andrew. Oh yes. Even though Harry's wife tends to have a positive relationship with most of the royal family, deluded, at least in public, there's one member of the family that she's openly distanced herself from, Prince Andrew. In 2019, Andrew, who was stripped of his titles in 2022, faced renewed allegations of sexual abuse and trafficking. In a now infamous interview on Newsnight on the BBC, the Prince denied the allegations. See parts pass him for an analysis of that. For Harry's wife, her uncle-in-law's interview was apparently the last straw in her relationship with him. As the Telegraph reported, Harry's wife was horrified by the manner in which the Duke of York dismissed allegations. Cognitive empathy, facade management. The publication went on to explain that Andrew's interview left Harry's wife, who's a proud supporter of female victims of sexual abuse, bandwagoning facade management, feeling uncomfortable. It's safe to say that after this interview and Harry's wife's relatively public reaction to it, these two don't have much contact. There's a bond between Harry's wife and her aunt-in-law, Princess Anne. Oh no, there isn't. Princess Anne, Queen Elizabeth's only daughter, is known for her bluntness and unflinching honesty. In the ITV documentary, Anne, the Princess Royal at 70, she made a comment that suggested how she feels for Harry's wife. The pressure that is applied to the younger members of the family is always worse, she explained. That's what the media is interested in. That's hard sometimes to deal with. That's not how she feels about Harry's wife. She's simply stating a fact. The article continues, it sounds like Anne understands what a difficult time Harry's wife must have had entering the firm. And as Robert Hardman, who interviewed Anne for the documentary, told Today, she does have sympathy for Harry and Harry's wife, and she talks about it. Nevertheless, even though Anne seems to understand Harry's wife's unique difficulties, she's also expressed a view that the younger royals would stop trying to reinvent the wheel. In a Vanity Fair interview, she said she often finds herself telling Harry's wife and the other younger royals, don't forget the basics. Anne is no mug. As a normal, she sees straight through Harry's wife, and to suggest that she's sympathetic towards her is bunkum. Harry's wife probably isn't that close with cousin-in-law Zara Tindall. We don't know a great deal about Harry's wife's relationship with Zara Tindall. Well, why then are you writing about it? Princess Anne's daughter and Prince Harry's cousin. However, reports do suggest that their relationship certainly isn't that close. According to Sean Smith, the royal biographer behind Harry's Wife Misunderstood, Zara wasn't too impressed with Harry's wife's wedding plans. In fact, she may have even made fun of the Duchess-to-be at the time. As Smith wrote in the biography, Zara was pompous upon hearing the actress's plans. Prince Charles read and reread the Order of Service as if it was the latest fascinating issue of Country Life magazine, he revealed. His wife, Camilla, and Kate Middleton were desperately trying not to make eye contact with each other. Smith went on to describe how Zara's reaction was best of all. As he put it, she was gobsmacked. If these reports are true, it sounds like Zara comes from a totally different world than Harry's wife, so they probably struggle to see eye to eye. No, it's quite simply that Zara Tindall is another individual that sees straight through Harry's wife. Harry's wife got some advice from Mike Tindall, Zara Tindall's husband. What might it have been? Get the fuck out of here? While Zara Tindall and Harry's wife may not be incredibly close, it sounded like Zara's husband, Mike Tindall, was perhaps a little more welcoming to the newcomer. Yes, we saw how welcoming he was at the service of booing, didn't we? Mike, who also married into the royal family, spoke to Good Morning Britain before Harry's wife's wedding. It seems as though he had every faith that Harry's wife would do well in the family. I think she'll be nervous, but coming from a background in TV, she's used to the public spotlight. She'll be fine, and I think she's experienced enough to know that all she can do is enjoy the day. Well, that's hardly sympathetic, it's just a straightforward observation about what went on. Fergie is quietly supportive of Harry's wife. Yes, everybody's getting a go in this article. Sarah Fergie Ferguson is the ex-wife of Prince Andrew. As royal fans probably already know, she hasn't always had an easy relationship with the British media or with the firm, as the royal family are sometimes known. So it comes as no surprise to learn that Fergie seems to be pretty supportive of Harry's wife. In a 2021 interview on the talk show Porter Reporter, Fergie revealed that she was pleased that Harry's wife and Prince Harry had married, as she wanted to see Harry happy. The most important thing, and I know Diana, if she were here, would say that they are very happy, and she makes him very happy, the proud mum of two said. Well, we all know, kind as she may well be, Sarah Fergie Ferguson isn't a very good judge of people. Prince Edward and his wife Sophie are very sad about the tension with Harry's wife. Well, Prince Edward, Queen Elizabeth's youngest child, and his wife Sophie have for the most part tried to stay out of the drama surrounding Harry's wife and Prince Harry. In 2021, Edward spoke to CNN about the tension that arose when Harry's wife and Harry announced they were stepping back from their royal duties. He said the strain on the family was very sad, but he admitted that he could see where Harry and Harry's wife were coming from. Listen, weirdly, we've all been there before. We've all had excessive intrusion and attention in our lives, and we've all dealt with it in slightly different ways. And listen, we wish them the very best of luck, he said. It's a really hard decision, as per US Weekly. In another interview with The Telegraph, after the infamous Oprah interview, Edward and his wife tried to stay diplomatic. What interview? Sophie joked evasively. No, it's quite simply she's putting them down because she's utterly dismissive of Harry's wife. Again, she's another that sees straight through her, and as we saw just recently, her protective behaviours towards other members of the royal family and the freezing out of Harry's wife that took place when they were sat in the car together. This article is an attempt, of course, to portray Harry's wife as someone who has a few issues with some people, but largely gets along with everybody in the royal family. It's another attempt at facade management, and it fails miserably, because we all know the reality of those relationships. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.